Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are going to be giving you a post-migration update for a number of kingdoms to show you where some movement potentially has happened. So we're going to cover this from a few angles. Number one, we're going to show you the kingdom activity status changes. Two, we're going to talk about potential alliances that may have moved. And then three, where could they have possibly gone per each group, right? So we're going to change things up a little bit. This time we're going to do it where we'll talk about the kingdoms that are in a particular group and then where they were and where they potentially moved to. So we can kind of give you honing in a little bit more on the specifics. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you give us a because it really helps out a lot. Okie dokie, artichokes. So the 9 or 12 KVKs we're going to focus on is ST1-1 through ST1-9. That's 1 through 10, 22 through 90. We're also going to be looking at 3 Season 2 KVKs that have come to an end, or coming to an end, we should say, which is S277 through S279, and that is 277 through 288 that we'll be taking a look at today. Okay, let's go ahead and show you guys off the goods. So this is what we have post-migration. Now, migration, I believe, ended on the 13th. We're coming up to season summary. That would be today at reset by the time this video comes out. And so let's focus on the first group. So the first group we're going to look at, let's kind of start in order. So we're going to look at 3, 4, 31, 41, 47, 53, 60, and 79. So for this one, we have crowded, nothing changed there. We look at number 4, active crowded. So people, again, going to 4 right now. We have 31, and again, only going up 1 activity status change. 31, we have active, so nothing there. 41, we have normal to crowded, so people going to 41. So then we have 47. 47 was full to crowded, so people left 47. Now, who's in 47, you might ask? So 47 was GD, was LNV, and TLR. Right, so we had Garuda and Dragon. Ludowol was the last reborn. Right, so that's who was in 47. So that means that some people left 47. Could that have been one alliance? Sure. Could it maybe have been the strongest alliance? Remember, this was as of when we took the data January 29th. Right, we had Garuda. They were on 10.3 billion, and then the others were like 3.4. And then the last one was about 2 billion. Right now, obviously, those numbers have increased. We don't have their up-to-date, but just to kind of give you a sense of where that was at that time, which was as of about 2.5 months ago at this point. And then we end up getting to the next one there. So 53 would have been next. They went from full to active. So a lot of people left 53. Okay, who's in 53? So 53 was BDO. Right, so this is Blood, this is the Blood Oath, so this is Chisgul, Duz, etc. that are there. So I think this is a very good chance that they left, or a number of people from BDO left, and probably went to one of those 2 kingdoms that are now having a higher activity status. So is there a chance maybe they went, right, I think it was, what, to 31? No, not 31, excuse me. Where was it, 3 or 4 that we said? Yeah, so active to crowded, right? So it could have been 4. Could have been, what do we say, 47 or 53 that ended up having that status change? No. Why am I not remembering now? 41. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sorry, 41. Normal to crowded, right? So they went up 2 activity status changes. And then we look at 60, right? So 60 crowded to active, people left. And then 79 is the next one in this group. Active, right? So really only 2 options on potentially where some of those alliances or members of those alliances could have gone. Let's look at ST1-2. So ST1-2 is comprised of 8, 27, 48, 55, 65, 66, 71, 74, 84. So let's look at this. So 8, people left 8. Okay, who's in 8? So 8, who do we have in 8 here? 8 was PTW. So that was Degenerates, free-to-play freaks. That kind of made up, at least at the time, the top 2 alliances, right? They were ranked number 6 as well out of this 78, 79 kingdom group. And so I think this is pretty clear. PTW probably left 8. Okay, but where would they have maybe gone? So the next kingdom in the set is 27. So 27 full to crowded, so some people left 27. Okay, so who's in 27? 27 we have, let's see here, who's there? So 27 was Ancients. That was ANCS and ANCX. So a good chance that probably maybe some people left. Again, only going down to one activity status change, so it's not full. But because they have increased the cap, we don't really know exactly what those hard numbers are, even if a full alliance was to leave. But I'd like to believe that it would at least change by 2 activity status levels, which I think is fair to say. Then we get to 48. 48 went from normal to active, so gained some people. 55, we see active to active, so no change there. 65 has been pretty consistent too as well, crowded to crowded, so really no movement. 66, or if anything, very light. 66 went from normal to active, so some people went there. 71, I think that's pretty safe to say that based on the people we've said that have left, good chance they probably went to 71 with it going from normal to full. 74, no change, and then 84 is the last kingdom here, crowded, crowded. So again, no big movement on any changes for people joining. It's pretty safe to say that people went to 71 there. Then let's look at ST1-23. So we'll start with Kingdom 22 here. This is 22, 35, 36, 37, 44, 46, 52, and 64, and 70. So 22, no change. 35, we have no change. 36, no change. We get to 37. 37, active, nope. And then 44 and 46. So 44, some movement. 46, no change. 52 and 64. 52, nothing. 64, crowded. And then the last one is 70. 70, normal active. So, I mean, again, not enough. It almost feels like not enough people left anywhere, where you just had some people that ended up joining, right? So really no changes for people leaving on activity status levels, but 2 increases that we see. So again, kind of hard to really tell where the potential movement has happened until we end up seeing summary, which I'll get to that at the end. Then we get to number 23. Now, number 23, where am I looking at? Popping up the gen chat there. Number 23 went from full to crowded. So some people left 23. Okay, well, who was in 23? So I think 23 was... where's 23? 23 is right here. So TFS was in 23. And could some people have left 23 at that point? Sure. Some people could have left. Is it possible that some people probably could have left from TFS? Sure. Again, one activity status change. Then we end up getting to 26. 26, normal to active. So some people joining 26. Then we go to 34. 34, normal to active. Some people joining 34. 39, normal. Next one is going to be 54 on this one. So then we have 54, which is, let's see here, where am I at? So 54 going full to crowded. So some people leaving 54. Okay, who was in 54? So 54 was BXS, Blood Oath that we have from them, and then there was also RTG that was there as well. So again, some people probably could have left there. Then we get to where we are, 54. So next one is 61. So 61 we have full to crowded, so losing some people in 61. Okay, who was in 61? We have EIS was there. I mean, it's in shadow. So again, maybe some people from a second alliance, or maybe some people from there ended up moving. And then next we have 67. So 67 ended up going from full to active. So a bunch of people leaving 67. Okay, who was in 67? Let's see here. What do we got for 67? 67 is, oh gosh, how far down am I going on my list? Oh, wow. Okay, now something's telling me I went too far. Oh, yeah, here we go. It was EXG. So we had EXG, EXXL, that was in 67. And you could see there a number of people left that. Then we get to 75. 75 active, and then we get to 86. 86 normal crowded. So clearly a number of people joined 86. You can kind of make your own soft gauges from that point. Then we end up going to ST1-25. And here in 25, we have 25, 42, 56, 58, 69, 77, 78, and 80. So we'll start with 25. 25 going from normal to crowded, so a number of people joining 25. 42, full to active, so some people left 42. So 42, I think, was 42 TC. We'll confirm with that. Yeah, so it's 42 TC, TC 42. So a good chance that probably 42 TC left, which I believe was the main alliance, and or TC 42. Because I don't know if they ended up doing some switching potentially at some point. But I think it's a good chance that they left. Now, did they go there to 25? We'll see if there's any other kingdoms that saw movement. 56 is the next one. Normal to full. Okay, so could have maybe went to 56 with a big jump there. 58. Ended up going crowded, crowded. So no change. 69. We see full to active. So people left 69. Okay, who was in 69? So 69 was SK1 and SK2. I believe they have rebranded to IS 69 and DS 69. They were the number one. They were the strongest kingdom going in to S2++, towards the end of January for the current season that is in T1, right? So you could say they were the strongest kingdom going into T1 based on summed up power for the top 7 alliances. But so again, seeing that there's movement there with 69, probably pretty indicative that people left, especially because there's 2 changes. Then we get to 77. Right, 77 going from active, and then 78 active, and 80 is crowded active. So some people left 80. Okay, who was in 80? So where do I have this for 80? Let's take a look. Oh my gosh, can I find 80? Here we go. So 80 was UDF. That was undefeated. I think they were probably the strongest coming out of there. There was also PNX and BOH, but I think UDF is probably more likely. So that's what we have for that group. Next one is going to be ST1-6. This is 6, 29, 49, 68, 73, 76, 81, 83, 87. So we'll start with 6. 6 went from crowded to active. Okay, so who was in 6? Who left? So 6 was, we have Owl. So Owl and Hoot were there. So seeing that we see one activity status change, I mean, probably one alliance or half of a main, give or take. I mean, again, I'm sure we'll have better ideas, too, as well, after we see who exactly moved and the number of people once summary hits. Then we get to 29. 29 ended up going from normal to crowded, so people joining 29. 49. We have active, so no change there. Next is 68, normal crowded, so people joining 68. Then we get to 73, normal active, so some people joining there. We get to 81, active crowded, some people joining 81. 83, full to active, so going down 2 status changes. So who was in 83? 83 was GG, 1-3, and GG 83 were there. So clear, some of them potentially left. Then we get to 87. 87 going from full to crowded, down 1 activity status change. Who was in 87? So 87 was Arkham, and NUTS and DEGN. So those are the alliances there in 87. So some people left. Then let's go to ST1-7. This is 1, 2, 9, 30, 43, 51, 85, 89, and 90. So we're going to start with Kingdom 1. And here in Kingdom 1, we have crowded to active. And then we end up having Kingdom 2 is full to active. So people left 1 and 2. Okay, well, who was in 1 and 2? This is pretty standard. This was TA and NK, right? Those were those groups or those families that were in 1 and 2. And I think I mean, we knew that they were going to merge. This was something we talked about, but it's like, okay, where did they potentially go? And so then let's go to 9. So 9 went from normal to active, so a little bit of an increase there, but probably not enough to really house them. Let's go to 30. So 30 went from normal to full. Okay, is it likely that they ended up going to 30 at that point, right? As far as those 2 groups joining, probably likely. We'll see if there's any other movement, though. So 43. 43 went from normal to full. Okay, so maybe went to 43 too. That's another option, clearly. Jeez. Wow. 51, normal, so no change. 85 will go. 85, normal active, so a little bit of an increase. 89 was crowded, no change. And then 90, crowded active. So some people left 90. Okay, who was in 90? So 90 was Bakar, BKAR, and OGH, OG-H, Asylum, and BNF. But probably I think this is likely maybe Bakar moved, or maybe some people there, just because they were the strongest in that kingdom. Okay, so that covers that group. A few more left here. We got ST1-8. This is 24, 33, 38, 40, 45, 50, 57, 63, and 72. We're going to start with 24. So 24, active to full. Okay, so people joining 24. Then we go to 33. Active, no change. 38, normal active, a little bit of an increase. 40, we have normal active, a little bit of joining there. 45, active crowded, people joining 45. Number Kingdom 50, normal active, people joining as well. So where are people left? 57, full to active, people leaving 57. Okay, who was in 57? So 57, we have FS. So that was the Fear Show, TFF, and TNS. So probably a good idea. This is 2 activity status changes. Probably likely that FS ended up migrating, and one of those. And then we get to 63. 63 active, no change, and then 72. 72 crowded active. So some people left 72. Okay, who was in 72? 72 was Dora and TPD, Mojo, DOR, BBC. And so, yeah, so Dora, TPD, probably some people from them, most likely given that. Let's then look at ST1-9. So this is 5, 7, 10, 28, 32, 59, 62, 82, and 88. Let's start with 5. So 5, wow, a bunch of people joined. So now they're full. Let's go to 7. Full to active. So people left 7. Okay, who was in 7? So 7 was VVVVV. I mean VVV. You guys know what I mean. So they were in 7. Kingdom 10. Active, 28. Active crowd, so people joining 28. 32. 32 active. 59 is active, no change. 62. Active crowded, so people joining 62. How about 82? So 82, full active, going down 2 activity status changes. So who's in 82? 82 is Noor. So again, people from Noor leaving, and others. So, well, I think it's most likely. I should just say it's most likely that Noor left, and however many. And then we get to 88. So 88 went from normal to crowded. So again, enough people had to leave at that point, right, for you to see those changes there for those kingdoms that ended up increasing their activity status. And the last ones we're going to take a look at is S277. And these are going to be pretty straightforward here because it's just groups of 4, right? So we have 277 through 280. People joining 277 and 279 from that 4-kingdom group. And then we get to 281, 284, which actually saw the most interesting movement, right? They went from active. 282 was full. They went down to active. People joining 283 because they're crowded now. And also joining 284, right? They went from normal to active. And then we have 279, or S279, which is 285 through 288. And you can see people joining 285 and 287 at the moment. Okay, that pretty much sums it up. Again, we'll be curious to see how it looks as far as where did people actually land. Right now, it's just kind of speculation. If anyone knows anything, please feel free to let us know in the comments down below. I'm sure this will be a interesting watch for those of you that are speculating on which kingdoms alliances potentially landed in. Where did players go? Of course, as I mentioned, and it will probably be easier for me just to show you, I'll just go to one of my kingdoms that does have the end of season timeline, just so I can simply... Oh, actually, am I still in Gen chat? Never mind, I'm still here. Let's do this. Actually, hang on. Let's just switch. We'll just go like this. What am I doing? We'll just do this. Because this just makes it easier. I already have it up. But I'll show you real quick on that end of season timeline, just so you can take a peek. I think it should pop up, though, once I do this. It did. Lovely. So you can see here, migration finishes, phase ended on the 13th. Once summary hits at reset today, we will then be able to go into leaderboards. I can click on someone's name and it'll show me the home kingdom that they are now in. So once that happens, I will also start pulling data, as I mentioned before, for the upcoming stats. So we're going to do like top kingdoms, top alliances, top players, the thing that I showed you guys off before. But we're going to do that for the upcoming SB2 season if it is titled. I'm just using that instead right now until we figure out what it actually is going to be named, which is going to be the new season beyond T1. right? So for the 1 through 10, 22 through 90 group that's going to be going in first, we're going to pull data on that. I'm going to show that video off, and then we'll do another video after the groups are announced, which you can see here will be happening on the 16th. So hopefully I'll get you guys the big stat video on the 15th, and then we'll show you off the group matchups on the 16th, and then we'll use the stat video to compare how each group looks, maybe start doing some predictions, if you will, probably at that time. And then once region select pops, for anyone that I find out where they're going, when that ends up happening or when that comes up, right, we'll also potentially cover that on who's landing where. Will we see any potential zone 1 fights, or how will it look kind of progressing throughout the map? And obviously, if there's been any changes on the map, we'll have to take a look and see for that as well. And then most likely, season start will be on the 18th, even though it says TBD. Typically, this is one day from what I've usually seen. So again, we got a lot of action really coming up in the next couple days. With that in mind, as always, hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, I'll catch y'all later.